Hey guys, it's TaggedUpTyler here with SynthWaveCowboy and Richard M207. We are the Midcard Mafia, your favorite podcast you've never heard of, and we're going to be talking about the very first episode of Monday Night Nitro from September 4th, 1995.
Howdy, howdy.
Greetings.
We have Cowboy and Mason or Richard both starting off here. And you know, before we even get started on this, any thoughts?
Well, for WCW's first go at a live television show, it was pretty ballsy what they did to book the venue.
I will talk even more about the venue once we start watching this. You are so right, though. The venue is so iconic and looks great.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy for a first episode what the first match was.
Also,
we'll talk about it, but just the choice is crazy in my head. To this day, it's still a crazy first match choice.
All right, before we get into the action start reviewing any of that, I have some notes from the Wrestling Observer where they're talking about WWF and WCW's dwindling syndicate numbers and how the war between them all will be fought from now on cable on Monday nights. Monday Night Raw will be live every 4 weeks, while WCW will be live every Monday night, which gives the WCW the advantage, and a lot of wrestlers will end up knowing what's going to happen in the airing weeks of Monday Night Raw. Leaving this says that Dave Meltzer said that it's going to allow WCW to counter program against WWF Monday Night Raw here. And in the latest on Lex Luger is that Sting has been trying to get him to bring to WCW and bring him back. Luger made a lot of money in wrestling in the past few years, and the original WCW was for $500,000 a year. Meanwhile, his current WWF deal is only around $350,000 a year, but WWE is offering him a $1,000 per match deal with no guarantee on how many matches he gets. So apparently it says he would get $1,000 bonus per match, like guaranteed paid per appearance, which is kind of cool. In ECW news, Too Cold Scorpio is the latest star from ECW to actually jump ship to WCW. Paul Heyman wants to keep Scorpio and has talked about making Scorpio the top heel and champion, but ECW doesn't have contracts, nor does Heyman have money to put on Scorpio to keep him on the books for eternity. Paul Heyman and Sabu reportedly reached a secret agreement for Sabu to return to ECW, but that fell apart when WCW came calling. Heyman is still trying to negotiate with him, and if Sabu decides to come back to ECW rather than take the payday with Heyman or with WCW. More ECW news. Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, and Dean Malenko all just signed their 90-day contracts this week with WCW to start them off. Another big hit for ECW, for WCW. And our last little bit of interesting news from the Wrestling Observer before we get into this. Cactus Jack beats Terry Funk in the finals of the IWA's King of the Deathmatch tournament with a no ropes barbed wire exploding time bomb match. The match was said to be extremely brutal. It was the first job Funk had done in Japan in 2 years. And
some slight.
Yeah, it's the big JOB.
Isn't this one from Stranglemania?
As someone who kind of loves old school, like hardcore wrestling, like ECW, that just tops the shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Terry Funk versus Cactus Jack in that kind of match.
Yeah.
Only in Japan.
Yeah.
Only in Japan.
Only in Japan.
Crazy death matches, man. Well, that one's the top of our CZW, I think, for being honest. Like, overall. But that's my take.
All right, so let's get right on into it with the first episode of WCW Nitro. By the way, we are going to be doing more reviews of WCW Nitro here. We're gonna do a little arc along with the pay-per-views. I think this is going to be the 3-man commentary team we have here on the Midcard Mafia. Is me, TaggedUpTyler, SynthWaveCowboy, and Richard_M207. You can find us all on Twitch under the same handles. So let's get right into it. All right, and the first thing I want to say about the whole show itself is the intro for WCW Nitro feels so awesome. You could tell
it's fucking sick, dude.
You could tell that it was definitely filmed at the Universal Studios, though.
Oh yeah, but that makes it even cooler.
The late 90s.
It is super late 90s, and but just everything about it, from the explosion and the fire on the logo, it's awesome.
The way to shoot the fucking city, like it's a fucking like football. I don't know why it took me forever. Like a football.
This is what we were alluding
match.
to. The venue itself. This is what we were alluding to.
Yeah, no, I love where it's at. The Mall of America is so I love this venue. I think it looks so fucking sick. I don't think any other place is gonna top it. Sure, the ring design and all that's not the best, but just the actual area they are in is so sick.
It's the atmosphere that is provided that makes it awesome.
And even now, they can't redo this. They could do it in the Mall of America. It wouldn't have the same atmosphere as 90s Mall of America. It's just like, it's you know, it's sick. The time capsule.
90s Mall of America? You mean the Mall of America where they have fucking, where there's everybody actually going? Instead of just buying everything off of Amazon?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine Mall of America is still kind of popular now. I think they got like roller coasters and shit in there.
But can I say one thing?
Yeah.
I know this is like weeks late, but rest in peace, Steve.
Yeah, man, Steve McMichael passing away is sad, as well as Sabu.
Yeah, 2 legends just gone.
Oh yeah.
Very. Speaking of legends of this legend of Steve McMichael, what about this commentary team? What do we think about Bobby Heenan, Eric Bischoff, and Steve McMichael?
I
love it.
It's like a good variety of like commentators.
They make it feel like a 90s, like it's like you're just watching a game of football or basketball, just a 3-man sports duo.
You know what?
You know what I mean? And they're all just jabbing at each other the whole time. They are talking about what's going on in the ring, obviously, but they mostly are jabbing at each other, and I love it.
I think I wrote that down in my notes. I love the bickering between Mongo and Heenan.
Oh yeah, and it just feels like just straight up any 90s like promotion at the same time, and I love it.
But like at the same time, you get different perspectives on with Bobby the Brain Heenan, not Terry Funk.
With Steve McMichael, Eric Bischoff, and Bobby Heenan.
Eric Bischoff. Why was that escaping me?
Man, because you're an AEW mark, not a WCW mark.
You gotta be a WCW mark like me.
Bro, you would have known that if it was Tony Khan.
Yeah, he would have been like, oh, that's Tony Khan right there. That's his dad.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. Laugh at the
He owns the Jaguars.
Can we just be a little serious? Eric Bischoff and the CRT font and the CRT filter that they have for the 90s, for this 90s rendition of WCW is like, he does. I guarantee you could totally just go in and be like, that's probably Tony Khan.
Oh, on God. Yeah.
If you gave Tony Khan,
it's just a little too straight compared to.
You're right.
He's got a little bit of curlier hair, but yeah. Otherwise, yeah, I can agree with you.
Another thing I wanted to talk about. I love that Mongo had the hand buzzer to get to goof with Heenan. Yeah. I thought that was so funny.
Oh, it's so funny. It's so fucking funny. It's dumb as shit. I love it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You guys see the mustache? That's on wrote in my notes. The front row.
With the striped shirt?
I noticed that.
Dude, that is a crazy fucking mustache.
Reynolds wants that mustache.
No.
Bro saving last week's dinner on that mustache. Holy fuck. That thing is
Freddie
crazy.
Mercury wants that mustache.
Freddie Mercury wishes he had a mustache half as good as that, and Freddie Mercury's mustache is pretty sweet.
I love seeing the mom holding the little kid on her shoulder the whole time too. I just think that's a sweet little thing. I
I
thought
just-
that was just on that
I
little
just need to
tidbit.
hammer. I just need to hammer home the venue. My
It's
God,
so
why-
sweet.
I love the
why
venue,
can't-
dude. And you just see him come to
why-
the Great Train Store, and then it's just Jushin Thunder Liger. Like,
My biggest question about
Crazy.
this is where was their locker room?
I have no idea.
Like
yeah.
that's just something I thought about when I was watching this to get notes for the podcast. And it's like, where are the boys? Where are they setting up, guys? Where are they? Like, there's no way Jushin Thunder Liger just pulled up to the Mall of America in his Subaru or whatever car he's driving, dressed like that.
Yeah,
You're probably
like,
right on the Subaru.
When I say hammer home the venue, we don't get unique venues like these anymore.
You're right. Like, when was the last time we
You're
got
not wrong.
a cool venue for Monday Night Raw? When they did
One of my favorite things is every time they do that aerial shot.
and you see all the escalators and stuff and the balconies.
Yes. Yeah, you see how they're constantly going.
Yes.
Like, there's so many people just going throughout, and it's just like you see the balconies of people just sitting on the top row, treating it like it's a theater, and I love that.
Yeah. And
You know what I
I'm
mean?
think-
They're on the second
I'm
and
also
third
thinking-
floor, just
thinking of
watching
us-
at the fucking. It's so cool. Sorry,
I'm also
continue,
think-
Richard.
I'm also thinking of other venues that wrestling has taken place in, like Hammerstein.
Or the Manhattan
Yeah.
Center, which is actually right below the Hammerstein Ballroom. Fun fact.
Really?
Yeah, the Manhattan Center, where Monday Night Raw's first episode airs from, is the exact same building owned by Madison Square Garden, the Madison Square Garden Company. Same with Hammerstein Ballroom.
Like,
That makes
and
sense.
also, what about like the ECW venues? Those were like, some of them were like very unique.
Oh, like when they
Oh,
would do
you're
the
not
Elks
wrong.
Lodge and stuff like that. Yeah, those are sweet. Yet again, no idea where half of those were. They looked good and it felt good to watch. It felt different and unique. Same reason I liked the old TNA. TNA just felt different.
Yeah.
Since you brought up the ECW being unique, I can't remember if it was Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis or one of the other luchadors they brought over to ECW at the time.
The best. Wait, is it
But
the
I just
best?
remember one of
Is
the.
it the best 2 out of 3s match?
It might be, and it's where they go outside for a second.
That's Psychosis versus Rey Mysterio Jr.
Got
But-
you. I was
but
right.
that's
So
all-
yeah,
But that's
that
all
match.
I'm gonna
So that
say about
venue was insane, and they just go outside. It's just like the most like bare bones parking lot I've ever seen in my life at a wrestling venue. And you're like, what is going on?
But like,
It's so cool.
my stance stays. We need unique venues.
I would love to
I
see
agree. I think everything's become a little too samey.
I would love to see freelance pro wrestling in Chicago do this inside of one of the Chicago malls.
I would love to
Oh
see
yeah, dude.
up here in
You got
Maine.
the one up in Schaumburg, I want to say.
That would
up
work.
here in Maine.
Could do it in River
We got
Oaks.
It's like a big one.
here in my home state,
Yeah.
Maine. We got Limitless Wrestling. I would love them to do like a Limitless Wrestling show at like say one of the big malls here in Maine.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean, as of this recording, they're going to do a wrestling event at a Whoopie Pie Festival.
Hell yeah. Wait, speaking of cool venues in Chicago, Cowboy, tell me that this one, Oregon Ballroom, going to a wrestling show and sitting up on the balcony. We're seeing a dive from the balcony.
Oregon Ballroom, you know who's going there?
You going for a show?
Well, hopefully, because AEW's going to Oregon Ballroom.
Really?
Wait, AEW's doing Oregon? I figured they would have tried to get Rosemont.
No. Dude, they're doing
they-
Oregon Ballroom for their 6-day stint in Chicago.
Interesting. I mean, I guess
But
That's why I'm going. I want to go so bad because, like you just said, it's an insane atmosphere.
I mean, every concert there is always awesome. So I always thought to myself it would be a sweet place to go see a wrestling show.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, bro. That's why I really want to go. I think you would even like it. I'm not in the AEW market at all. I don't watch the product whatsoever. Besides just Tony Storm clips that pop up here and there. And MJF.
I just-
I
Now,
like
are you
MJF
watching
a
those
lot.
clips really focused, or are you one-handed focusing?
oh my
actually,
God.
genuinely super focused because I love her bit. I love her gimmick. I think it's super sick, and I think she's a great wrestler. Like,
But- But like
genuinely,
anyway,
all one-handed aside.
One-handed aside.
anywho,
I might have to figure out how to move some funds around and get a ticket for that for the AEW show. I think that'd be
4
fun.
seats are $100.
But
$100 isn't even bad.
I know. That's why I wanted to let you know.
But like, let me just say this: with the diverse of people,
And that was for sorry, continue. But that was for Dynamite. Dynamite's more expensive than the Collision showing because those are all
Right.
going to be aired live.
what is it?
Well, not
with the
live, but they're
diverse
going to be on TV.
people in this podcast, me coming from Maine, and both of you coming from Illinois, we get different perspectives.
A lot of different perspectives. You see, and like we all like different things about wrestling. I'm a huge ECW. I want crazy good promos and hide all your bad shit, and then give me awesome 11 out of 10 wrestling matches, which also explains why I like new or Ring of Honor.
Yeah, no, Ring of Honor's great. And it's
And
like I
then
love
it's
death
like-
matches and WCW. I love the glitz and glamour of wrestling. I love that bullshit. That era. It's just so undefeated.
I want to agree with you on that. There is like something about like the early 90s time period of wrestling. It feels like magic. It feels like just something about it when you're watching it. It just feels like this is a comic book come to life or something.
The 90s was a great time to be a pro wrestling fan.
Yes.
I really wish I was born in the 90s.
Me too. I was born in 2000, so that's why I'm glad. In this sense, but I am glad that I was born in 2000 because as I got older, it became very accessible to watch all the shit from the 90s.
Oh, bro,
you know what I mean?
Anyways,
so hard to
Brian Pillman versus Thunder Liger.
This match, I thought this match is awesome. By the way, I
love it. We can get into the match.
Let's get into the match, and as we see, Liger and Pillman already made their entrances here, and they started off hot. They're both jockeying for position, but that rolling thunder kick, looking like a UFC move that Liger did to Pillman in the corner, made me pop.
And
maybe it's because it's one of the few moves I know how to do in UFC 4.
Same.
I'm gonna say this about both competitors in this match. Both of them have different types of legacy. Jushin Liger is currently happily retired. Probably is, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't one of his kids wrestling?
I have no idea.
I believe so. I believe you're correct on that.
I didn't follow up on the Liger career to know. I just know about Liger's career because he's a legendary figure.
Because I know the Great Muda's quote-unquote daughter is wrestling.
That's cool.
And then when you look at Brian Pillman, you look at Lex King.
Speaking of Brian Pillman, I need that jacket he showed up in originally. Also, why is your quality in 480? Is that just what maxes out at?
Yeah. Oh.
But like both men in this match left two different legacies, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, my one of my favorite skits on Monday Night Raw was the Pillman has a gun skit.
Oh my god.
Insane. I remember watching that when I was a kid. I'm like, I had to go to my dad and be like, why did Brian Pillman have a gun on wrestling? It's like, I thought that they were supposed to be fighting with their hands, not using weapons. And he's like, yeah, I don't know how to explain that one to you, bud.
It's one of those things. He's like, I don't want to like ruin the magic for you.
He's like,
it's like telling me Santa Claus isn't real.
You know, my dad, and kudos to my dad for he let me find it out myself that wrestling was fake.
That's not predetermined.
Well, yes, you're right, predetermined, not fake. But
yeah, I'm trying to get better about that myself.
Wrestling isn't real. How about that? Like, it's not a legitimate sport. It is not a two men are going into the ring and finding out who is the true better one in weight classes. That's what UFC has become.
Yeah,
exactly. These are true athletes who are they are very at the same time.
I always made this argument to people, even when I knew I liked wrestling, and they're like, "But you like that fake garbage? UFC's real." But it's like, yeah, the fun pageantry, and you can't tell me that these guys aren't athletic with some of the stuff that they're doing.
Okay.
Oh, like a lot of these guys, if they actually wanted to, could actually
prime example
people in real life.
Yes, a lot of them could.
And if they did the move, if they did the move without pulling the punches, just like be safe for the opponent, like dude, they could hurt you really fucking bad.
I was going to say a really good example. My sister always thinks that pro wrestling is like a straight guy's version of RuPaul's Drag Race.
I've said that. I've literally brought it up.
You said that the WWE games, once you got back into it, was like Dress to Impress for men.
Yeah.
Yes, dress
Or
to
like,
impress for men.
In my sister's words, it was like over masculinity or something like that.
Hyper masculinity, but with flamboyancy.
It's a hyper masculine telenovela.
Yeah. But then you got
hyper.
like you got people like Lucius Thunder Liger that scream that kind of style. But then you look at other wrestlers like say Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was like, but that's during the Attitude Era.
So
can I just talk about how much I love the ref? I don't know his name, but I love the ref. He's so expressive. He gives me the get out of here, buddy, like energy. Look at him. He's just so tall for no fucking reason. He's like tall and awkward. I love him.
You know, it looks like he wanted to be a wrestler, but he realized that he doesn't want to actually take bumps, and so he's like, "I'm be a ref."
Took a shot once.
Can we also just watch this suplex that Liger takes? Just drops right out of his head on the apron and falls. I know that had to hurt. Like,
I feel like that was a botch.
Well, he stopped it with his feet a little bit.
I feel like that was a botch, though.
You see, I don't.
It might have been, but he sold it well enough if it was a botch.
I think that there's no such thing as a true botch unless like you don't you don't do it correct at all. You know what I mean? Because
like, you're wrestling and they sell it. Yes, that's a botch.
Yeah, yes,
but otherwise, I agree with what you're saying.
But you know, something like that, I wouldn't call that a botch. Or you know, where the ECW crowd goes, "You fucked up." You think about it this way: in the theater known as wrestling, these are two guys who are exerting themselves to their highest degree to fight each other. Yeah, you're gonna be a little tired. You might make some mistakes. It makes it more believable.
Yeah.
Sure, Pillman couldn't pick him up and do a suplex out of the ring. And so maybe he was trying to like drop him on the apron, but he ended up dropping him entirely. That's a totally plausible thing. If you were picking somebody up to actually, you might drop them.
Yeah,
that's the way that he sold it too. Like Liger sold it like it was perfect.
But like for me, I'm like, but like with me, it's like take a shot every single time you see a wrestling botch where someone gets seriously hurt.
Yes, now if there's an actual like serious injury, that's a botch. That's a fuck up. You ruined the match.
Those are the two types of botches. But I love that, by the way. That's my favorite move.
That drop kick
entire match, I love that.
That drop kick from the it was beautifully executed. It looks like what Shawn might have drawn the inspiration for Shawn Michaels' super kick and Shelton Benjamin.
Literally
like,
perfect timing. Back
on the topic of like botches and all that stuff. Do I have to mention Sid Vicious's botch?
Is that a botch because his leg broke, or is it a botch or now is that truly a botch, or is that a freak accident where his leg just didn't?
Now that I think about it, it's kind of bold.
It's a freak accident, which yes, it did cause a stop in the match, but at the same time, it really it's disgusting. I don't even want to think about it. Oh my god! Editor, put a gif of the Sid Vicious leg snap, just if anybody's never seen it.
Oh, probably put like a viewer discretion advised.
No, just let him see it. Editor, let him see it. You see,
I don't know.
Put that on. Double it. 40%.
All right. So you said that dropkick was your favorite move of that match. I said that Hurricanrana from the top. That super Hurricanrana was my favorite of the whole match. I thought it was just so
for me.
It was so crisp and clean, and I wrote down that drop kick was probably one of the best drop kicks we are gonna see all night. This is the workhorse match.
Look how expressive he is.
It's a good referee.
The ref is so expressive. I would need to find his name because like I don't want to keep saying this guy. You know, I feel bad.
Just call him the referee.
He's put in the work.
Referee. That's the role a lot of them go by, is they just know they know their role as the referee. They're not part of the show, but they are the show.
Yeah,
I know. I just would rather know the guy's name, like we know a lot of like WWE refs names. You know what I mean?
Also, since we're talking about this match with Jushin Thunder Liger, I propose a question. If you could make a Mount Rushmore of your favorite Japanese wrestlers, who would it be?
Kenta
Can we,
Kobashi. Oh wait, I got this right now off the dome piece.
Can we watch this, like watch the ending part of this real quick and then answer this? Because I want to talk about it. I have a point I want to make. Because I really love how the match ends, right? And Brian comes back into the ring,
shakes his hand, and then makes
sure everyone gives him his fucking praise. Like, gives him a big old hug. You know what I mean? Like, I love it. I just want to say, like, yeah, give him his. He's like, wait, you're not giving this guy his flowers? Nah, come in here. Like, I love that because this man is a fucking legend. But a lot of people in America don't really know that.
Yeah,
You're used to like seeing a bunch of different wrestlers that
one
don't
of the best technical cruiserweights you'll ever see.
Exactly, and Brian's like, no, you're gonna give this man his fucking flowers. And it's like, that's pretty cool. You know, I just like really love that.
I do respect that.
That's why I was like, we can talk about the four after. I just wanted to bring that up because I would forget otherwise. Oh, and then here comes Stinger, the Stinger.
Well, yeah, the topic of like Mount Rushmore Japanese wrestlers.
All right, so easy one for me. Michiharu Misawa, Kenta Kobashi.
Okay, those are my first two.
Then we're probably gonna I'm probably gonna throw in Akira Tozawa. No wait, no, wrong one. Akira Toei is the right one. Akira Tozawa is the one that's currently in WWE.
Yeah.
And then the last one, just because, Onita's a goat.
So the first two Tyler had are the same as mine, and then I got Io Sky.
Okay.
I really like her. And
is her Joshi stuff in Japan any good? Because I've never watched it.
It was really good.
I'm just not familiar with any Joshi wrestling myself. But yeah, who's your fourth pick?
Antonio Inoki.
Is this a solid pick? I don't respect him because he decided to become a politician, but I don't like politicians.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not respecting Kane's work in WWE now because he's a mayor. You know what I mean?
I do believe that Antonio Inoki does deserve that spot.
He does. He definitely does. I mean, it should be him and Giant Baba as well because they are literally the same. They are the same. The same thing, but different sides. I understand why you took Inoki.
Io Sky because I just think she is amazing. I like anything she's done. Her Lucha Underground match with Penta. Oh my god!
I've not seen that match.
Actually, I want to replace my Onita pick.
Match you gotta watch at some point.
I want to change my Onita pick. I'm changing it's to Tajiri because Tajiri is my dog.
Okay. I love Tajiri too. I was thinking about it, but I'm like, no.
He also started in All Japan Pro Wrestling before he went to ECW, so yeah.
He did. Tajiri was so much cooler before he went to WWE.
Oh, bro, the Japanese buzzsaw thing in ECW was awesome, and his rivalry with Little Guido and Super Crazy, awesome, bro. It's so good.
Little Guido is so underrated from ECW.
He's one of the best. He's literally one of the. When I think of ECW, I think Rob Van Dam, Sandman, Little Guido.
Not most people. But most people talk to I would also think his name up in top 10 for no reason.
At least when I'm thinking of like good wrestlers, I mean, Sandman's not a good wrestler. He's a fun wrestler to watch.
No, he could be a good wrestler. That's the thing. He was it depended on the night. That's the problem with the guy.
I mean, yeah, but
when he was on his shit, when I told you that match with him and Cactus Jack, I watched this man leap over all 3 ropes down to the fucking ringside and hit Cactus Jack with the goddamn Singapore cane. And I was like, holy shit, it's good looking. Like, bro's like actually wrestling. The whole match he's wrestling. It's really good.
You see, I guess oh, yeah, let's hear what Mason's opinion on his favorite Mount Rushmore of Japanese wrestlers.
Sorry, we never asked.
The Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada.
A phenomenal choice. Modern day classic.
Kota Ibushi.
Another great choice.
Who was that wrestler that went by Murder Grandpa?
I do not know this one.
I can't remember their actual name.
Minoru Suzuki.
I watch too much anime, bro, so all of it gets blended into
Wait,
the same
Minoru Suzuki.
names.
He's the dude, the bald-headed, like kind of chubbier dude. Or no, that's a super skinny dude. Who's the dude I'm thinking of? The kind of chunkier, bald-headed dude. I know who you're talking about. He's a really skinny dude, has the crazy hair designs all the time, and he takes crazy and gives vicious chops.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're
I think
talking
it's
about.
Minoru Suzuki.
I think that
Somebody
sounds
in the
right.
Comments correct me. Somebody in the comments correct me if I'm wrong.
You're right.
Okay, so Kota Ibushi, Kazuchika Okada, Murder Grandpa, and Tiger Mask.
Tiger Mask is sweet.
I was gonna ask if it was Brandy Rhodes because she did have a match in Japan.
So Tiger Mask is. I mean, isn't Tiger Mask just Michiharu Misawa?
I mean, I don't know.
There's like 4 different Tiger Masks. If you're talking about the OG one, that's the
Yeah, it just
Michiharu
depends.
Misawa. If you're
I was
talking about
like-
Tiger Mask 2, which is the
that's
one
the
that's the one that
Can
more
we
people
acknowledge that the
recognize.
90s signs needs to come back? All these like
Oh
neon
my god,
fucking
yes.
signs.
Toys R Us logo.
All
So
of this,
nostalgic.
I need it back. Oh, Pasta Mania! I wish I could try it.
I was gonna say I really want to try it. I wanted to really try this fast food Olive Garden.
It seems like a good
Pasta
idea. It
Mania?
seems like Sparrow, but better.
I just feel like
Honestly,
that
yeah.
was just one big cash grab, you know?
I mean, what isn't a big cash
Apparently,
grab?
everyone, Tyler, you said everyone who reviewed it was like, actually, it's really good, surprisingly. Like, it's
They
like I
said
wanted to
this-
come in hating it. Everyone came in with the bias of wanting to hate it because it's a wrestler selling fucking pasta. But it's really decent, apparently.
I mean,
But, like,
let's be real here. How hard is it to fucking cook pasta?
It's not
mean-
hard at all. It's
mean,
the
I'm part
sauce, and if you
Italian,
find
I'm
a
part
good
Italian.
recipe, you're okay.
I'm part Italian, so I kind of know how to make pasta.
I guarantee all of it was par cooked. All they had to do was cook it for like 2 minutes,
Yeah.
finish it off.
So
Here's when Ric Flair was
Yay,
good.
Boy.
wait, can we? What would you give that first match before we move on?
I'd
Out
give
of
that
5 stars.
Brian Pillman versus.
That's a 4-star match, dude.
You know what? I respect that.
4.5 out of 10.
Out of
Oh.
10, we've been doing
No,
5-star
10?
ratings.
We're doing 5
4
stars,
point-
brother.
Okay, sorry. 4.5 out of 5.
4 point. The rating doesn't change. You just
Yeah, I think you just accidentally said 10. Got you, buddy.
got you. Yeah, I agree with Mason.
Look,
I am
I'm
a
not saying
4.5
no,
out.
sir.
I am a 4.5 out of 5 star guy.
Can I say I love
for
the
this.
addition of the security guards walking around pretty much all of the wrestlers for their entrance. I
agreed.
love it.
Agreed.
I guarantee this is the best night these fucking mall cops ever had.
Yeah, they probably got like a big cut.
And they're like,
Oh
so
yeah, they
we get to
probably
be on
got a little extra
TV.
pay.
We get to be on TV. This company's coming to pay us to be security
Yeah,
for the wrestlers.
Since it's here in the mall, there's the guy with the amazing mustache. But since we were talking, since this is the Mall America, I think it'd be a great idea for like dying malls, because malls are dying across America. It's just unfortunately
It's a
like
fact.
a lot of them were built up and they weren't supposed to be, or they were just a trend for 10 years, whatever. I think a lot of like new wrestling promotions should try to reach out to those malls. It might be a good way to bring audiences, like people in, paying and already in the mall. You know, keep like stores alive. Maybe get some new stores in.
Maybe.
Hell, let's say you're like at a let's say the wrestling promotion's like based where that local mall is. That becomes their local venue. They even open up a little merch store. Other stores start opening up because people are already there. You know.
Right.
Can I just interrupt for just a second?
Yeah, of course.
I love the WCW United States Championship belt.
I was also going to bring up. I
amazing.
didn't notice that Sting was the U.S. champion here in this matchup.
I didn't either
like-
until afterwards.
But like the United States Championship belt that WCW had, mwah, chef's kiss.
Oh, dude, beautiful.
For now,
I
this
So
is
I come from seeing Sting during his like Crow era. Oh, fuck.
Here comes like
The man, the myth, he's here.
See,
I love this,
I actually
like-
wrote down in my notes that I didn't remember this happening. I thought that he came out during the Hogan match.
No, he just comes out and stares them down.
He does.
Also, what is up with the shirt? That could like what is? Up?
Yeah, bro, looks like
What's the
he's
deal
like
with the
Romeo and
collar?
Juliet. Like he just left
I
a
was gonna
play.
say this motherfucker just got this guy just got out of the 1700s to watch him. But
Bro,
back to
just
the
let-
Stinger thing.
Surfer Sting
I
is sweet.
never knew about Sting being like this as a kid. So
It's like-
it was crazy to me because I came from the Crow era and seeing this, but Dude, I love seeing an old Sting. New Sting started definitely like just going into whatever gimmick he was rocking with at the time. Older Sting, like, old, like, person Sting. That's what he was doing, like gimmick. Younger Sting, like here. He was such a better wrestler back in the day. He was so good.
I don't know.
Yeah,
There's so
like
Sting
he's always been a good
wrestler.
Like, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, during this era, it's great. I'm saying, like, I grew up thinking, like, the era I watched was the best. No, I watched these. And, like, it took me a little bit to get used to the whole opposite gimmick. You know, minus the face paint, but everything's colorful now.
I totally get it. I also felt the same way about Ric Flair. I hated him as a kid because I'm like, why is this old fart on Monday Night Raw with John Cena and Triple H? And
I also don't like him that much because the match he had on, I don't know if he had multiple, but the match I saw with him on WCW against Rey Mysterio, you could tell he has no respect for Rey Mysterio at that time, so he didn't even give him a good match. He didn't try at all.
That is true. What year is this? 20? Is this 2000? 99?
It's late 90s, I want to say, like 98, 97.
I was going
to
to say,
that just made me really upset. You could tell he's just not trying at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could tell that he just, you could tell that that's when Flair gave up. But like, if you watch 80s and early 90s Flair, he's so goated in the Sauce Baby. Like, look at this man.
It's like I didn't know that until you told me to like look to his older
the
stuff.
Prime example of this. As soon as Sting tries to go for the turn of power and show that he has the power over Flair, Flair's just like, no, you don't. I poke. Genius. You want to hate this dude, and you want to cheer Sting just because.
Yeah, Ric Flair is literally one of the dirtiest guys in the game.
Oh, exactly. Limousine riding, jet plane flying.
Wheeling, dealing, son of a gun.
I also love that
you gotta finish it.
I really love that your character has just turned into John Morrison and Ric Flair had a baby.
No, literally, that's the best blend.
Yeah.
Because you told me to watch old Ric Flair, and guess what I started doing? Watching older Ric Flair matches, and I'm like, God damn it, this guy's awesome.
Well, yeah, like
because we have a different take than like the older wrestling fans, because they saw him like this.
Like they
There's
know,
a couple
like,
WWE returns that we saw.
They knew why Flair is good, just like why we know John Cena is good, but we still choose to boo him anyway.
But like we watched a bunch of WWE returns from back in the day when like Ric Flair came back, like Shawn Michaels came back, Chris Jericho coming back. All those were handled amazing, and they were amazing wrestlers at that time. But then Ric Flair, it just like that last hurrah is what it seemed like, and he's still wrestling, which is crazy. Unlike indie promotions, but
I mean, if we're talking like Sting's whole entire career,
but his return compared to like a Chris Jericho, a Shawn Michaels, it was not good. You know what I mean?
I get it.
But it's like one of those things where it's like it's not even his own fault. He originally came back. He just wanted to be the manager, do the evolution thing, and they talked him back into wrestling.
But like, if we're talking like Sting's whole,
so it's not even necessarily his fault. You know what I mean? It's like, God, that sucks.
Like we're talking about careers of two legends.
Also, sorry, real quick before I say it, look at the projector WCW on the wall. That's so cool.
I loved it. Loved it. We're gonna glaze the arena for this so hard.
I love it so much, bro.
So wait, you'll hear me say, whenever we do this, that exact spot in 2K, you'll say, "Oh, I'm taking a flare bump. Oh no, oh no."
Got it. Is that an elevator behind them, by the way? I thought it was.
That is the elevator to take them up. Yep.
That's so fucking cool. I love how they incorporated it into the like the whole arena.
The shot.
Sorry, there's more glazing. Looks perfect.
Owls, I'm going to say, is a wrestling company that is owned by Ted Turner, a multi-billion-dollar company. For TV production, they should better have some sweet shots.
I know, but it's still so sick. Also, I love this WCW arena before they even ring design.
So do I.
The episode 2 is completely different.
Yeah, it is.
If I remember right.
It really is. It's like they try to like dial in that hot tone instead of using this old WCW style that they've been using, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, which is really cool. But it's just cool that the first match is like a blend between the old and the new. Let me know what's happening.
God. I just need to cut you off.
Fucking spot there.
I love the Ric Flair turnbuckle, like flips over the turnbuckle spot. It's awesome every time. Nobody does it like him. People try.
You can watch it again if you want to see it, because he does it so much better here, dude. because I want to see this again.
So
Watch
crisp
this.
and clean, and then you think he's gonna try to get to the top rope, and Sting's just like, nah, sorry, dog, I'm cutting you off. I know, I've seen this rodeo before.
Like Ric Flair was turned inside out right there.
Yes.
Literally. Dude, he perfectly like wheelbarreled around that goddamn thing. I know that's not the real term, but to me that's the only thing I can think of.
Inside
it's
out.
insane.
There's a reason why Sting and Ric Flair are under the same breath as legends, you know?
Well, yes. They were the faces of the NWA, and then when Chad Turner wanted to make it like turn WCW into a global phenomenon like Vince McMahon did WWF, he's like, well, these are the guys we need.
I got one random pet peeve / gripe.
What?
Why the fuck does Ric Flair wear his knee pads on his shin?
I don't know.
I've always noticed that, and it's always made me mad for no reason.
Jabroni. Oh my god, the core strength to
I love
lift
the
him
spot
up
here.
and then to the
This
crucifix
is some
backslide.
wrestling right here.
Yep. You see Arn Anderson looking like
Arn the Clock Anderson.
He's like your annoyed uncle at Thanksgiving. He's about to tell you the worst take he saw on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's probably an AI generated video. Like,
oh, that
yeah, the reason I was
beautiful,
glazing
that
that
was
beautiful
awesome
first match is this one. The second one is so generic, bro. Like
I wrote down that this, like, I've seen better from both these men multiple times, but for trying to start another rivalry between them for TV, for their new TV show, very good match. Also, it got me to bite for why Arn Anderson and Ric Flair are not friends.
It kind of stinks though. You can just like, for me at least, you can tell when Ric Flair actually likes the other wrestler or not, because he tries. Yeah. And you can tell he likes Sting, which is awesome.
No sells it like a champ.
He loves Sting, and so it's like you get a great match. But when he doesn't like them, like I said with the Rey Mysterio thing earlier, he just fucking doesn't care. He does not even do his things. He doesn't even try to get the fans' attention, do the whole like ooh and that like, you know, flop on his face thing.
Okay.
Won't even do that.
I gotta gripe about this. Why was it a DQ when Arn Anderson enters the ring?
But not
I
when
don't understand.
Flair's why, but not when. My whole gripe with this is the commentators didn't explain very well why Flair and Arn aren't friends. But as us as wrestling fans, we know the Four Horsemen, Arn and Ric Flair are always together.
Yeah.
So it got me to bite.
Like
I want to watch the next episode now just to see what's going on between these two.
It's like you
Where
can't
the
have
big
four
boys
horsemen
play,
without Arn Anderson and Ric Flair.
WCW. Amazing sign. I love it.
Where the big boys play.
WCW right after. I love this right here.
I forgot, who is this guy?
I also forgot his name, but I love that he presses the whole team.
I wrote in here, Jobber shows up and starts pressing the commentary team. Jobber's name is
Jobber?
Yeah, I have no idea who it was, so Jabroni. Jobber.
The Jobber, that's so funny. Jobber starts pressing the commentary too.
I mean,
he's not wrong.
He doesn't look like Jobber material, but I wrote
down in the match who
looks
the
like
Jabroni
Braun
is.
Breaker from the 90s.
I believe that's Scott Norton. Don't quote me on that. I'm looking through my.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Scott Norton is the Jobber. By the way, this dude goes on a crazy Japan run with the NWO in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh yeah.
No,
it's awesome.
Macho Man, Randy Savage. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
If the Macho Man can't get you over, no one can get you over. I'm sorry to say that, brother.
You're not wrong.
Can I just say, Randy Savage, whenever he speaks in his promo voice, it sounds like he's the meanest, stinkiest shit imaginable.
I was gonna say, it sounds like that man is snorting all the cocaine.
As much as I love Macho Man from back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
My first impression of him, I was 2, and the original Spider-Man came out in theaters. My mom put it,
ready.
And I watched it so many times that now I cannot think of anything else but that's a nice outfit. Did your husband buy it for you?
Speaking of a nice outfit, can we just
ready?
Speaking of a nice outfit, can we just talk about how sweet the Macho Man attire is for this?
Sick.
Randy Savage brings out the best attire.
Also, he is so coked out here.
He's always coked out. It's from Macho Man Randy
But
Savage.
like especially here though. Look at how fast this guy is moving between like different movements. If you go back, you can see it. But Yeah, watch.
I also love that the next segment is going to be Sabu. Because Sabu's the boy. I also wrote down in my notes, F Sabu, you will be missed.
Rest of pepperoni,
We miss Sabu. We miss Sabu. Sabu brought a bunch to America. What an amazing wrestler.
Bro's the man who brought tables to America. Like, using them in their matches.
Can I just say,
I don't think he just brought tables to America. I think he brought a lot more of the extreme to the mainstream.
Can I just say Sabu? Some of his matches were like the most violent I've ever seen, and it left a impression on me.
Yes, but like with Sabu, he would make like your mom would be willing to watch at least half of that match. You know what I mean? And that's like you can't say that for like 90% of the ECW roster.
One match that I remembered vividly with Sabu was when he was up against Terry Funk in a barbed wire death match.
Yep. It's like I think. Continue. Sorry. So sorry.
And Sabu landed awkwardly on the barbed wire and cut himself open.
Is that the one where he tore himself open, his bicep open, and then he had Fonzie go get him the tape?
Yeah. The absolute mad lad.
I knew where you were going with this. I was gonna let you say it, but
insane.
No.
The absolute
Sabu is crazy. But yeah, no, like I love Sabu because
fuck Joey Janela.
Yeah, fuck Joey Janela. I want to just say the only thing about Sabu too is like I hate to agree with Jim Cornette, but I do agree with that some of those guys in hardcore death matches and all that are literally just really good at taking pain, and they're probably sadists or something, you know. But like Sabu proved like you could be good at doing this, but also an amazing fucking wrestler on top of it.
Like the masochistic side of any deathmatch wrestler questions me.
Exactly. But like with Sabu, it didn't question you because he knew he was an amazing wrestler. He was just putting on a spectacle, and he's willing to put his body through that pain for the spectacle. And he's an amazing wrestler. Technically, he didn't have to do all that bullshit. You saw him in other matches where it wasn't always crazy, and it was always great because he's an amazing wrestler.
Rob Van Dam versus Sabu in '98, I think it is. It's an awesome 1v1 match. Really good.
Not to mention, Sabu has a very crazy accolade.
What was that, Richard?
Sabu has a very amazing pedigree.
You're right. He does. He comes from come from a wrestling family.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But
yeah, wasn't he like family members with the Sheik?
That's the dude who taught him to wrestle.
He also trained Rob Van Dam.
But that's the thing. I think out of his family, he is. I know some people are going to disagree with this statement, but I think he has the best legacy of them all in his family. Yeah. And I don't care what anyone says. I know Sheik to older people are like, oh yeah, nope, sorry.
I think Sabu is the Sheik for modern times, honestly.
I think he's done more than that. Because I think he's brought a lot more than the Sheik ever has. Like, not to be like a dick or anything, because the Sheik's done a lot in wrestling. I just think Sabu's done a lot more. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Next match.
But no, we're getting to the next match, yeah. But once again, I love the lights and everything.
I think it's the main event.
No, we got one more after this, I believe. I might be wrong. I think there's 4 matches in this.
Saturday night, WCW Saturday night.
I'm not watching any of that. We're just doing Nitro.
Brawl. Yeah, I was gonna say you don't want to watch Thunder, or whatever it's called.
Not yet.
It's like War Games.
We don't have to watch Thunder to understand storylines, right?
No, because Thunder normally is where they start. They either it's normally people it's where the people didn't get showtime on Monday.
Gotcha, because I never watched Thunder. Yep.
Also, Thunder just normally had weaker matches because all the wrestlers didn't care. They're like, well, this is like the B show. Same with Saturday night. Saturday night was like the B show.
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to make sure.
Man, I feel sorry for Bray Wyatt's dad, you know?
Mike Rotunda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or as he's known in this episode of WCW, Wall Street.
You think
Wall Street goes crazy though.
You think the IRS is going to be watching him?
I don't know.
Get it? Because his
Probably.
name in WWF used to be Wall Street or IRS.
Yeah. But still, it's like Wyndham Rotunda. That's his dad's name, right? Or was it? Am I getting that mixed up?
Big
This is
Bubba.
not the main event. There's one after this.
Big boy.
Wait, I swore it was Big Bubba versus Hulk Hogan. That's the main.
Is it Big Bubba versus Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
You might be right. Yeah, you might be right.
And then they have, and then like Lex Luger comes and gets in Hogan's face, right?
Yeah, I remember that part. I just thought it was a different match. I didn't think it was Big Bubba, but I.
You see,
probably
that's
wrong.
just like me misremembering when Luger came out. I thought Luger came out during this match to like challenge Hogan for the title. Or make his presence known that he wants to face for the title. Also, is there? I just
you're right.
announce one more thing. Why do we not come out from the corners of the arenas anymore, like to the corner of the ring? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really like that.
I don't know. Why don't more promotions adapt the TNA thing where it's a heel and the babyface fucking entrance? I think that's like really cool.
AEW did that to a degree. They still come out the same ramp, but but the heels and the faces come out different tunnels on the ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I also just rewind?
I just wish they came
back
from
to the
different
championship
sides.
Belt topic.
Like they did in TNA.
Can we just rewind back to the championship belt topic when I said about the United States Championship?
This is my favorite world championship. Well,
yeah,
one of them.
Big gold. The big gold is like historic.
It's so sweet.
love
It
the
looks
big gold.
it looks so cool. The
Why
WCW
did
one
Hulk
looks.
Hogan continue this hairstyle for so fucking long? That's something I said. Look at how shiny the top of his head is.
Well, you know, brother,
Yeah,
I was supposed to be the bass player to replace Cliff Burton, brother.
Speaking of brother, one of the things when me and Emily watched it, she said, "How many?" And I quote, "How many times can he fit brother in one fucking sentence?"
But like, can I just say Hulk Hogan's head? I just want to smack it.
Yeah, give him a nice little shine,
Or
little
just
spit shine.
or put like a suction cup on it.
I want to give it a
Oh
little
my God,
spit shine, maybe like a little
on
plunger.
top.
Yeah, we had the same thought. Yeah.
And this is like,
Big Bubba just looks like a fat guy who's getting into a fight at the bar.
yeah,
Why did they give him a Yankees jersey? That's like a collared shirt.
I kind of baffled.
Something. I've been a little confused
Okay,
about the whole
okay,
time.
okay. If the ring ropes weren't tight, he would have went bye-bye.
Can we just acknowledge that Hogan, like, wore some of the most basic fucking gear, and then he just started plastering logos on it as time went on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, like yellow and red is his color scheme.
And then there's like nothing like crazy about it. He just wears like trunks and elbow. It's crazy that like so many people might not even care about wrestling, but they're like, I love Hulk Hogan. It's like, why? Have you watched a single one of his matches? They're not good. On his end, it's everyone else who makes him look good.
That is true, but it's all about, you know, the whole point of what WWF was telling with the story of Hulk Hogan is that he can overcome anything.
I know, but I just don't like Hogan. I'm not a Hogan fan at all.
As time goes, when I was a kid, I loved him. But you know,
I didn't even like him.
We're talking over.
Granted, I was a bigger fan of like as a kid, like this era, I was still like a fan of like Steve Austin, you know, Stone Cold, and like
Honestly,
The Rock.
Cold,
So like we all have like
wait,
ones we liked a little bit more as a kid.
You talk about somebody who has generic attire. Stone Cold literally just came out in all black. Didn't even have logos.
I agree.
But like Stone Cold Steve Austin was a badass.
Right.
The Stone Cold said so. I can't get behind the whole Hulkamaniac thing, brother. Like I just can't. I'm sorry.
Honestly, if Steve Austin was still in WCW, I think things would have been a lot different.
Also, whatever you do, don't ask Hulk Hogan his opinion on his daughter Dana Black, man.
Not saying a word.
Not gonna say.
I am not saying a word.
Editor, cut that part out. Hulk Hogan paid me to cut that part out.
Look, man, it's out there.
The referee trying
to.
to
It's been out there since we were kids.
The referee trying to
So
pull off the brother's hair. Oh yeah, put your balls on the back of his head. Come on, Daddy! You need to get back into action, Daddy! That's all I can think of Jimmy Hart saying to him.
I still hate that like this ref is the one who's in here for the last few matches instead of like the other guy, because the other guy was so much better, so expressive. This guy just like such a dweeb. I don't know how to explain it. He's such a dweeb, man.
If we're talking about wrestling impersonations, my friend who also used to be a wrestler, who went by #Mikey, he would make a amazing Dusty Rhodes impression.
Isn't he a daddy?
Like down to the list.
Isn't he a daddy?
Hulk Hogan doing the most heelish thing in the match.
It's like
Talk
John
about hard
Cena.
time, daddy. Hard times when a man go down there.
No, you need to.
I've worked on
That's the Dusty Rhodes impression.
I've worked on that. That's what we
Now-
were talking, Dusty Rhodes.
No, Jimmy Hart though. He's got this. You gotta do the Jimmy Hart impression since he's on screen. Let me tell you
I
something,
don't
Daddy.
know Jimmy Hart, that buddy.
All you gotta do-
that well.
All you gotta do is just make your voice really high pitched. Let me tell you something, Daddy. Ooh, the Hulkamania is gonna run wild on you. That's basically
I
Jimmy
just
So
Hart.
say-
he's like,
That's basically
Can I
Jimmy
just
Hart.
so
say
he's
the
like
90s?
50% Paul Bearer.
Yeah, basically, but like with a southern twang and skinny.
Oh, Undertaker!
Whenever I show,
Yeah, but
whenever I
replace
show,
Undertaker with Daddy.
Oh, Daddy!
There you go.
oh my god,
By the way, I
but
just
yeah,
want you to
it's
know
like-
Hogan did the most heel thing in this match the whole time by covering Big Bubba's head with the jacket.
Yeah, we saw that. It was in the
so like
corner.
whenever I show, like, if I ever had kids and show them like 90s
He's just
wrestling,
mad he's got hair. Like on the top of his head, so he just had to cover it. He didn't be reminded about how that looks.
Can I just say, if I ever had kids and showed them like 90s wrestling, and they're like, "Who on earth is this guy?" or "Why did they do that?" and I'm like, my response would be like, "It was the 90s."
The 90s were a weird time.
It was a good time to be a wrestling fan, but the
In
90s
some
were just
regards.
weird.
If you're like huge into Hulk Hogan, it was definitely a great time for you.
But like the 90s in general for wrestling was weird.
Strange. It's a transition period.
The early 90s were until we get to like the late 90s where
The late
they
90s
really,
become
they really
a little bit more of a transition period too, though, for like the early 2000s.
And of course,
That's
Hulk Hogan
that's
wins.
not late
LOL.
90s, that's early 2000s. Oh, yeah, Hulk
I'm
Hogan
saying,
wins,
like-
oh no.
Late 90s for like WWE becomes like a transition period into like early 2000s.
Hulk Hogan wins. LOL.
But as far as WCW, it feels like they had it all figured out.
Yeah, it was Hulk
At
Hogan.
that
He had to be
point.
the top, and now to the Dungeon of Doom coming out.
I fucking hate
God.
when the Dungeon
The
of Doom comes
Zodiac.
out.
Come,
Can I just acknowledge I'm not a fan of the Dungeon of Doom whatsoever?
It's
The
literally
shark?
just a bunch of people that Hulk Hogan's beating up, but Lex Luger comes for the save.
Here comes Lex frickin' Luger, bro. They're trying to figure out who took whose roid prescription.
Brother, did you take my order at Pastamania?
Dude, how much tighter does I wrote this in my notes? How much higher does Lex Luger need those fucking pants to be?
Higher or tighter?
He keeps pulling up higher and tighter.
Well, it is the
Higher and
90s.
tighter, because he keeps pulling them up his ass crack. Like I can see his whole fucking cheeks at this point, bro. I do not need that.
but yeah, it's like WCW.
I also love this
whole
promo
episode
though.
was just like this whole episode was pretty impressive.
I agree.
The first episode.
I wrote down in my notes, by the way, when the Dungeon of Doom joins and hits the ring, I just wrote down, "That's not gonna work for me, brother."
That's not gonna work for me, brother.
That's not gonna work for me, brother.
That's not gonna work for me, brother. I've been in those same streets as you, brother.
And
I love this promo.
I honestly, I'm with Richard though. I thought this was a very, very first strong episode, and it makes me want to watch more. The Arn Anderson, Ric Flair feud is really intriguing to me. It's not how I remember it. I'm with Jake. I think the Pillman Liger match is probably the best match on the whole card. And then
I think it's an amazing
also with
first
Mason.
match, even as crazy as it is to pick. Putting Jushin Thunder Liger, unknown in America, as your first match is crazy.
a very, very bold move, but it paid off.
Honestly, unknown but niche pick. I love these old promos where you see them like, and they're doing it for like, these are my little bros, and they got muscular dystrophy. You're just like, bro, what the fuck is Macho Man saying?
But yeah, it's like with WCW. This first episode was a good first impression.
Oh, amazing.
Cause like
Makes you want to watch more. You want to see what's going on with the Stinger? Because he's here too. You want to see what's gonna happen with Lex Luger and fucking Hulk next week?
And
We
Randy
are.
Savage.
It makes you just like want to see everything.
And the fact that this was like the first episode was live, I'm willing to bet like exploded in numbers, you know?
I also wrote that I can't remember the dude's name, but the one holding the microphone right now has
Mean
like
Gene.
such a perfect mustache that
Yes,
it looks
Mean
like it's
Gene
like
has a really good mustache.
he has such a perfect mustache that it looks like it's fake. Looks like one of those just like plastered on mustaches. It's literally.
But that's how
perfectly
Mean Gene's looked his
trimmed.
whole life.
I know, that's just funny to me. I always forget his name. But that's something I'm gonna try my best to not. But I keep doing it.
Mean Gene isn't gonna hold a candle up to Freddie Mercury when it comes to having good mustaches.
Look at Macho Man coked out, trying to stay fucking eye attentive, but look at him keep fucking licking his lips.
Yeah, I can't wait to go backstage, Daddy.
We're about to have coke on like another couple minutes. Keep it going.
Like Randy
I walked
Savage.
on the same stage and said, "You, brother, up and down, brother."
I love it. I'm trying to play with the.
All you have to do is shake my hand.
I'm trying to play with the little kids. I'm here to get it on with the big boys. It's so fucking funny to me. Yeah, I know Luca wants to get it on with the big boys.
That's where Kurt Angle fucking got that bit from.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how
you're a little
WCW
boy,
goes off
and
the
I'm a
air.
man, and I'm a man who likes to play with boys. Wait a minute.
So
Wait.
Puppy!
So the podcast episodes coming up are we're going to watch episode 2 of WCW Nitro,
I didn't even notice the puppy. Thank you, Richard.
which
Little
should be
devil
September. Little devil horn.
Sorry. I just noticed. Look at it. Look at him. He's so cute.
He's a little puppy.
It's a little chihuahua. That's Mongo's puppy.
He's clearly old as hell too. He's
He's
got all like gray on him. That's cute.
I was gonna say he's just sitting there. He's just like, I'm happy to be here. And Mongo's just like, yeah, you're my little friend.
You're just smiling.
But still,
Where's cheesing? Sorry, continue. I'm so sorry.
All right, I was gonna say on our next 2 episodes, what it's looking like. We're gonna watch episode 2 of Monday Night Nitro on September 11th, 1995, and then we're gonna watch Fall Brawl for episode 4 of the Midcard Mafia. So
Yippee!
Fall Brawl, we'll get to see the fallout and all of that, and we'll review it, and I think we could put it to a vote for what we do then. Fun. But the road's ahead here on the Midcard Mafia. You could find more of me, one of your hosts, TaggedUpTyler, on Twitch at the same name under TaggedUpTyler, or on YouTube. You could find some videos and old stream VODs. You could find Richard Mason on Twitch. Do you have any other handles you'd like to shout out? Any of you guys?
I do also have a Kick page as well. So if you prefer watching Kick over Twitch, follow me on Kick. And I also have a YouTube channel, same name, Richard M207, and all that shit.
I mean, you could besides my Twitch, I got an Instagram. It's the same name, SynthWaveCowboy. I think it's SynthWave.Cowboy on that one though. But yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
So, any last words on the episode of this episode of Monday Nitro? We'll start with you, Richard. How do you?
Sorry.
The first episode of WCW Nitro. Good first impression. It's a shame of what happens at the end.
Yeah.
My first impression is if this was my GM, Triple H would be very mad, brother.
Yeah.
Because the first 2 matches were great, but that last match is nothing good to talk about. But the promo after was awesome. And my second thing is more mall wrestling. I want to see
mall
it.
wrestling.
Yes, more unique venues.
I think mall wrestling is a great thing to do.
I'm actually gonna tag Limitless Wrestling and be like, hey,
more mall wrestling.
Yeah, let's do like a mall wrestling event.
I like it.
MMW guys, more mall wrestling.
More mall wrestling. Get that trending on Twitter.
Yeah, hell yeah.
X, formerly known as Twitter.
My bad. I don't use it, so I don't actually know. I would tell you to follow me there, but I don't use it at all. So you guys can't follow me there. You can follow me on at TaggedUpTyler on Instagram, Facebook, all your other social medias. Find me on the Pornhub.
Oh God.
On the hub. PH.
Yeah, the PH, the black and orange machine.
AOF.
The blue and white machine. You can find me there as well. That one's a little different than my PH page. That one's just me assembling Lego sets.
With fish in the background.
But stuff has been consumed. I'm probably really drunk.
Okay then.
It's the bit, Mason. Not real.
Oh my God.
All right. Catch us next week. We should be airing the episode on Friday. We should be trying to get a retro sync videos out of our old podcasts, so that way you can watch along and where we pause and actually make jokes and see what we're looking at. And we'll be back. Bye-bye.
Peace, love,
Hasta
and rock and roll,
luego.
baby.